one of your hosts, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host Callum.
Hello.
Nicely. And today we're joined by seasoned people from the Mini Terrain domain. They're both amazing mini painters, and their business is just expanding and expanding more on social media. It is the amazing Jake and the awesome Dwight. Thank you, guys.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for having us.
I like having amazing in front of my name.
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah.
So.
I was thinking you might go down, go deeper and start changing your name.
Oh yeah, already changing it on Twitter.
Yeah. Right?
Amazing Jake.
So we're playing, like I just said, you guys are from the mini Terrain domain. I can't say that 3 times as fast because I'll splatter everywhere. Now, obviously, we're talking a bit about it before. Let's just go through for the people who don't know at home watching, just who are the Mini Terrain domain? How did it start, and how has it progressed from where it started to where it is now?
So I started Mini Terrain domain 6 years ago this year, ostensibly to create terrain tutorials, and it was partly on a dare. I had created, as part of a crafting Facebook group, a neat little miniature spider using junk, basically. And this friend of mine said, if you don't post a tutorial how to do it, I'm going to do it. And so I made a YouTube channel, and then I made my first ever tutorial. And that was the genesis of Mini Terrain domain, which, side note, was almost called Terraform and Norman. Not a lot of, I don't think I've ever publicly told anybody.
You haven't told me that, and I'm disappointed.
For a long time, it was because my last name is Norman. It very close, very nearly was called Terraforming Norman or Terraforming Norman. But yeah, so I started doing that, started doing tutorials, and 5 years ago this July, I ran my very first ever live stream game on YouTube, part of a small group of people. I actually ran it for somebody in Croatia, somebody else in Ireland, somebody in England, and a couple of people stateside. I got up early on a Saturday, ran Chris Perkins, Pray for Smiley Bob, level 1 adventure, never looked back. I've been running adventures for 5 years now, started streaming on Twitch less than 3 years ago. And it's become, that's kind of the focus, but we do product reviews. We do a lot of gaming stuff, crafting related stuff, live streams. We've just started a new painting stream that I'll let Dwight tell you about so I don't steal all the thunder. But Dwight and I have been friends.
You got to share.
Right.
Dwight and I have been friends for I believe it's 7 years. We figured out
it is 8 years. Yeah,
8 years.
It was 2012, October of 2012.
That we met for the first time. We have a photo and video evidence of our first ever meeting. And it was within that first year that Dwight became my home group DM. But I'll let Dwight tell you a little bit about the painting stuff and how it came to be that Dwight is our newest Mini Terrain domain intern.
Yeah, so I'll backtrack a little bit. So Jake, we met in 2012. We were both in a running group and got to know each other through that. And we would be driving to like trainings and stuff. And I'd be like, hey, I found out he played D&D. I grew up Baptist in the southern U.S. where, satanic panic was a real thing in my family. So it was not allowed.
Yeah.
So I'd always, right.
We can, tell everyone it is satanic. We are all Satanists.
Right, exactly. That's the whole reason I do this. So, but yeah. So I found out he had played and he was looking to get back into playing some more. So I just bugged him until he invited me to a game, and I loved it. And then I started my own game that has become our home group. Jake's son, Zach, plays in that group. And it's just gone from there. But Jake and I very quickly realized that we were into all of the same things. And we've had several projects. We did a webcomic for a hot minute. We've done a couple of different podcasts in the past. None of them really stuck. But what finally Jake settled on Mini Terrain domain, I think that's really where his passion was. And he moved into that. And I've always tried to support him with that as much as I can. And I benefit from it because I get to play on these awesome terrain modules that he puts together. And I've just always kind of been like there pushing Jake because he's not. I don't think he realizes he's as good as he actually is. And I'm not the creative person. So, I just kind of like, ride on his coattails, just to take it that way, I guess. But, I've kind of pushed a little bit for him to expand some more and do more things. And I was lucky enough that when he decided it was time to do that, he reached out and asked me to jump on and help and do a few things on the project management side of the business, I guess. But I do mini paint. I write. That's probably writing is my big thing, and then mini painting has been a hobby I've picked up in the last few years. We have started this on Monday nights. Every other Monday we do Beards and Brushes, which is our new offering. Started 2 Mondays ago. This coming Monday will be our second show, where we just sit and talk about stuff that we like and paint minis. So that kind of brings us up to speed there, I think, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, Dwight undersells his own creativity. He's, like I said, he's been my home DM for most of these years with 5th edition. But yeah, I think we are a wonderful complement to each other, and it's a testament to Dwight and our friendship, because I'm insanely protective of the mini terrain domain IP, and I barely let my wife do stuff with related to the channel. I mean, she's not into all the game stuff and everything, but yeah, Dwight has been indispensable in particular during Jaspers Game Week and things like that. So we are a terrific complement to each other, and we're just getting started on this phase of mini terrain domain.
It's amazing to see that you guys are still together for like 8 years. I mean, I've known Jim for like 3, and I'm just, after this, I'm going to end the call, never speak to him again. Just to go our separate ways. But
I'm not that lucky.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jim did start this relationship by reaching out to me for D&D, but that's a separate story. Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned the Jaspers Game Day. We spoke to Fenway earlier today, and you sort of helped her out with that and hosted it and went on. How did that start off? Is that something you sort of came together and realized that you could sort of both help each other, or was that something else?
Jaspers Game Week came about because I had learned, so May of 2019 was the first Jasper Stream Week. And the year before, I had first heard of Jaspers Game Day, even what it was. And the fact that it was so close to me, within a couple hours of me, that Fenway lives. And I started doing some research, figuring out just who is Fenway, what is Jaspers, what's their story. And I think, unfortunately, so many of us in our lives have been touched by suicide. We know people that have gone that route. And I'm also a United States Army infantry veteran. So I've also seen it from that side, and it spoke to me. It was a charity that I realized this is something that, and the fact that it's so integral to tabletop gaming is such a big part of what their mission is. That I was like, I want to be a part of this. How can I help? I started talking with a couple of friends, and had said, why don't we do one of these 24-hour streams that I keep seeing people are doing? And at the time, this gentleman that was working with us, Jason, he had a lot of contacts in the industry, started reaching out to some people. And here's the thing that I think that has made Jasper Stream Week so successful is, and I think this is unusual for charity streaming. From the beginning, Fenway and her dad, Aaron, just joined alongside us. I never asked them to be a part of it. I just said, just tell me where do I give the money? How do I give you money? And figured, we'll raise a couple $100 and we'll do it every once in a while. And they just came alongside and started supporting us, and it became this partnership. And that first stream week, we did 5 days, 8 hours a day, 15 games, 40 hours total streaming. And we raised almost $6,000. And we were able to get a couple of big personalities come in and fill in with a lot of other games. So then, with a few months left to spare, we started talking about what is Jaspers 2020 going to look like. And we had no idea what 2020 had in store for everybody.
Right.
And so this year became exponentially bigger because of the quarantine, because of the pandemic. People that were slated to do cons as guests of Jaspers suddenly were free. And so Fenway started using her clout to say, well, hey, I know you're not doing anything and I know you can't go anywhere. Why don't you come over here? And so we wound up, we expanded to 12 hours a day, 60 hours. And that's where very early, immediately I said, Dwight, I need your help. And we also brought in a couple other people into our admin team to support the entire endeavor. And I give full credit to people like Dwight and Stonefly, Kai, Matt and Miles over at Impact RPG, Fenway, and Aaron, as well as some other supporting staff, people that weren't even a part of it. Not to mention the and I can't even call them unsung heroes because I think they've been sung quite a bit, is Thread Raiders, who I didn't know about a couple months prior to it, came in and just dominated the moderator scene for us. And now I can't imagine doing any of this stuff without Thread Raiders. It's just incredible, this community. And we raised almost $35,000 in our second year. And that it was through a joke in chat of Dwight being the intern at the MTD Castle as a way to sort of cheerlead people to donate money and to kind of lead into giving away our raffles, that we kind of said, hey, do you want to really be my intern? And Dwight's like, can I? And the idea, the intern thing is kind of a joke, but it's, you know, it's a partnership that he's learning how to do a lot of this stuff that I've himself taught in. And in exchange, he's serving as my intern. He's keeping my schedule, keeping me on schedule. I'm the flighty creative guy that's up here going, where am I supposed to be next? So yeah, that's kind of what Jaspers is in a nutshell. And as big as this year turned out to be, next year is going to be exponentially larger.
Yes.
I can't even hint at some of the stuff, but I will say expect 1 week, 24 hours a day, worldwide participation.
Which we were speaking to Phil earlier, and about saying too much, it is going to be amazingly exciting, just for everyone involved and everyone who like sort of watch and everything. Like what you're saying, first of all, thank you. I know you're not on our side, in the sense of England to America, but being a veteran, I think that's a worldwide respect. That will. Yeah, that's just overall. So first of all, thank you. But additional to that is, like you said, both of you helping with nearly $35,000 going to this amazing charity that, like you said, just started with an idea, through tragedy became something amazing. And that is just incredible. And that leads obviously how you started working with Fenway, like you said, and going into Dwight being an intern. Has that helped you, Dwight, with your sort of moving forward with your career in mini terrain domain, and also does that affect positively in your D&D games? So can you combine both of them into each other to make you like, is it a homebrew world? Does that make it better for you, do you think?
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed, just, and it's only been really a couple months that I've officially been part of MTD, even though I've been around and working with Jake for years. One, just the connections, meeting the people has been huge, and then just seeing other people, how they do what they do. My goal personally is to get into streaming games. I'm actually going to start streaming on my own channel next month. And some of those types of things. So learning from Jake on how to do that, and he's been able to help me with things like Twitch overlays and some of the on the production side, and what kind of gear to get, that kind of thing. But for me, it's what I have loved the most about the last few months is just getting plugged more into this community. I've been on the outside looking in for a few years. I see the names, I see the people, but I've got to meet a lot of them in the last few weeks, and they're awesome people to work with. And I'm really looking forward to working with them in years to come. As far as how that affects my ability to run games, I've learned so much. I have a couple of ideas in a game I'm going to be running on Jake's channel here in a couple of weeks that I've picked up from watching Stream Week, watching other people DM during Stream Week. I was like, man, that was an awesome way to do that. I'm gonna steal that technique. And so just being here and seeing other people work, how they do things, how they tell stories, because to me that's what gaming is. TTRPGs is about telling stories together as a group. It's not me as a DM telling you what the story is and asking you how you react to it. It's about building that story as a table. And seeing how other people do that has been really awesome. I'm looking forward to implementing some of those techniques I've picked up on. So.
It's always good to watch other people's games in this community. Everyone has their own little tweaks they do. Obviously, some people use the drink and health potion as a bonus action, an action to give it to someone. Some DMs use initiative once per day, so it speeds up combat if you've got lots of people. There's so many little things that you just pick up from watching someone else, and then you can implement it in your home game. And that is one amazing thing about the community. And everyone's willing to help. Like if you ever get stuck on something, you can just message the DM and be like, I saw how you did like manage the situation. Like what was actually going through your mind at the time. And everyone in the community, as me and Jim has always said, has been so nice and forgiving and helping. And you can always ask and know you're not going to get like a snark reply. And it's really amazing. My sort of question, because I know we're running a little bit low on time, is obviously you're now moving on and going into mini painting. Have you got your first mini planned? Like, do you know exactly what you're painting? Or
he's reaching.
He's
reaching.
So I have Dwights here. We actually painted these on stream and then finished them off stream last week. They are miniature Jake and miniature Dwight.
Your Twitter icon, yes.
We went to Hero Forge and we designed our own minis, painted them. I've taken some photographs, and our logo is currently the 3D models of those, but I'm actually going to be turning our painted minis into our logo and making that available as a t-shirt as well. But our whole concept with Beards and Brushes is it's Beards and Brushes amateur miniature painting. We have no idea what we're doing, and we're just making this up as we go. We're literally teaching ourselves techniques, trying out things we've learned, and we hope to start bringing in other miniature painters of various skill levels, not necessarily to say, hey, you're an expert painter, teach us something, but hey, do you want to come hang out with us for 2 hours and just paint minis, and we'll just talk.
It was our first episode. We had a couple Dr. Faust mini painting, and there was one, I can't remember who the other one was, but we had two
Devious Dungeons.
There we go.
Both professional miniature painters.
But they were just in the chat, and like they actually Jake was stuck on, I'm not sure what to do here, and someone dropped an idea as to how to paint his jeans on this mini, and he tried. He's like, oh my god, that was great. So it was really cool to get that real-time advice from somebody that actually knows what they're doing.
And come to find out that guy's been teaching miniature painting for 20 years. Has one of the most successful YouTube channels of miniature painting. And he was just hanging out, slumming with us on our little Twitch channel, teaching me how to paint blue jeans. But I think the idea is that we both have a nearly endless supply. Seems like we have a bag of holding worth of miniatures to paint, and we're literally just going to grab whatever we've got, and it's 2 hours of us just chatting with one another. You'll see the close-ups of what we're painting. We might talk about techniques. We might talk a little bit about, hey, what do you think about this? I can't figure out what color I want to do, which is how the jeans thing came around.
We may talk about Star Trek. Who knows?
We might talk about Star Trek.
Just go on a tangent for 2 hours and just scrap the paint and just Star Trek talk.
Exactly.
So we are running to the end of this show, but we'd like to first of all say thank you to you both for coming and talking to us.
It's been It's fantastic. Even a short chat, like I told you,
Yeah.
you'd give me something to talk about, and I will talk.
Yeah.
I think
We've gone on about Star Trek, painting, D&D. We've covered all bases.
when we go off air, this is just going to be carrying on. I can
Right?
promise you that. Coming to the end, and I did it on the last one. I always do this to Callum because I love to put him on the spot, and I will put you two on the spot as well. So this is a little game I like to play of where you guys think of a character put forward. This character can be from any universe, any comic, film, TV, game, whatever you can think of, all the way back to like the 80s and so on. What it is, you put your character forward for a scenario that I give you to best represent how you think they would. And the person you're going to have to put forward for, we'll start with Callum, is the Summer Olympics. And it's going to be
I could reuse an answer.
1v1v1, and they will take part in every Olympic event. So Callum, as I love putting you on the spot because you have given some fantastic answers from, I think, Spyro at the Winter Olympics. You've done Bob Burgers for a sandwich shop.
That was a good one.
That was easy. So, Callum.
Summer Olympics. I don't even know what Summer Olympics is. To
running and jumping.
I'm going to do Sonic the Hedgehog. He's pretty fast.
Well,
he can jump. If there's rings at the end, he'll probably get there even faster.
Obviously, we got that from the Nintendo Wii games.
And the film.
We've all got terrible memories of smashing the controllers up and down trying to run faster. We go to Jake. Who do you put forward to go head to head with Sonic?
Man, Sonic's a good choice. It's probably going to take the gold in all those running events, but for sheer endurance across all events, I'm also going with a video game character. I'm going to choose Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
She's going to dominate at anything that has to do with strength and endurance.
Yeah.
She seems to be a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's my Olympian for this notional Olympics.
And Dwight, you are going up against a sprinter, super sprinter, well known, and a well known athlete all around.
So
win your gold.
I'm going to stick with the video game theme, and I'm going to go with Kratos. Because Kratos can run, he can jump, he can swim, and he can. I'm pretty sure he would be really good at the javelin too. So
I feel like there's bonus points for taking somebody steeped in Greek mythology, even fictional Greek mythology, and putting him into the Olympics.
Yeah. I think he was there when it was created.
Right.
Yeah, that was a little meta, but on brand.
So there we have it. For all of you watching, please write in the comments and let us know who you think will win most events between Sonic the Hedgehog, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, and Kratos, the crazy god. I don't have enough time to explain Kratos. He's one of my favorites. But so all of us here at the Vital Hit Show, to the mini terrain domain, we'd like to say thank you all for watching. Thank you to our guests, Dwight and Jake. So great for having you.
Yeah.
Great being here.
Thanks for having us. It's a blast.
Thank you to Thread Raiders for setting on this up, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.